So guys, now let's talk about the fugacity, which we can denote by the letter small f. Okay. Now what is the meaning of fugacity? See, if you read the literature, you will find that fugacity is derived from the Latin word fuga, which means fleetness. Fleetness leads to a fleetness means escaping tendency. Okay. Now what is the meaning of this thing, escaping tendency and all that stuff? Let's understand. So one thing we should all of us should know the difference between ideal gas and real gas. Okay. So first we will talk about the fugacity of pure gas. Then based on that we will discuss the difference for liquids and solids and solutions and all that stuff. So if I talk about the ideal gas, let's consider one very simple example. Suppose there are two molecules. Okay. So we know that all these two molecules will not have any interaction if that is an ideal gas. In ideal gas, their molecular interaction is zero. We know that. Okay. So since there is no interaction, so when these molecules will be moving inside the container at whatever speed and kinetic energy, doesn't matter. So whatever momentum they will exert on the container wall, when they will have the collision with the container walls, they will exert some momentum. And from Newton's second law, we know that rate of momentum exerted per unit normal area is called pressure. Okay. So rate of momentum exerted by these molecules per unit can be equated as force, and the force per unit normal area can be called as pressure. Okay. So that is the reason. Since in case of gas and liquids, molecules are able to move, we talk about the pressure only for liquids and gases, not for the solids. You will never heard a term like pressure exerted by the solid. Okay, for solids we talk about only the body force. Okay, but if I talk about the real gas, so in case of real gas, normally most of the real gas have intermolecular attraction forces only at NTP. Okay, when you go beyond the critical point, the supercritical fluid state is achieved, then we can say molecules have intermolecular repulsion forces, but that's a different story. Normally, all the gases molecules have intermolecular attraction forces. And when they have intermolecular attraction forces, so obviously in that case, when they will have the collision with container wall, so they will exert some momentum, obviously, but this time the momentum exerted by these molecules will be less as compared to their ideal form. Okay, so we can say that is the effective force, and that effective force per unit normal area is what we can say the effective pressure. Or you can say fugacity. The fugacity is nothing but just the effective pressure of the real gases. Okay, and here is obviously, if anyone asks you that for intermolecular attraction forces, what is fugacity? So you can simply say that fugacity will be less than pressure. Fugacity will be less than pressure. And similarly, if intermolecular repulsion forces are there, then obviously fugacity will be greater than pressure. And if this is an ideal gas, so no molecular interaction, in that case fugacity will be equal to pressure. So what is the meaning of escaping tendency here? We have understood what is fugacity. Fugacity is the effective pressure of real gases. Okay, but what is the meaning of this term escaping tendency? See, escaping tendency, first we have to understand what is the meaning of term escape. Okay, when we use this term escape, okay, for example, like you guys, you are at your home, college, hostel, room, whatever it is. You guys are going for job. You guys are going to attend the college. Means you are leaving your home and you are going to college. Or if there is some person who attempted any crime and judge says that, okay, go for the jail for this much period, okay, and he went to the jail. from normal life to prison. Okay, so we don't use the term escape. No one says that you are escaping from home to go to college, or you are escaping from your home to go to the job. No one says that. Or the person is escaping from real world from home to jail. No one uses this term. But when a prisoner, a criminal who is in the prison, leave the prison before his tenure, whatever time he has to suppose to stay in that prison, but before that tenure, if he try to run away from that system, that prison, and go and try to come in the real world, in the normal life, we use the term that person has escaped from prison. Okay. Similarly, if a person is supposed to be in the office for 10 to 6 or 2 to 8, whatever time is there. Okay. During that time, before that time, if person leave the college or the office, we use the term he escaped from office. Okay. So you have to understand the meaning. Okay. Ideally, the person should be there in this time period, in this condition, but before that condition has been completed, he left that thing. Then we use the term escape. Okay. So similarly here, if I consider one example like LPG cylinder. Okay. In LPG cylinder, what is the thing? See, liquefied petroleum gas, this is the cylinder, all molecules are there. The petroleum gas is there in liquefied state at very high pressure. That's why it is liquefied. Okay. And there is a what is logic? What is the use of LPG cylinder? The purpose is these molecules are there inside the cylinder, okay, and we are supposed to connect this through a pipe to a burner where we are using this gas, we are burning this fuel in a controlled environment. Okay, that is normal. Okay, that is supposed to be. But if there is any leakage, then these molecules will leave the cylinder and go into the atmosphere, which was not supposed to be. These molecules are supposed to stay inside the cylinder or burn in controlled environment, but they leaked. Okay, they escaped. They left the cylinder. Okay, so the pressure by which when these molecules are leaking, they are going in the environment, obviously they will exert some pressure here. Okay, and the force by which they are leaving this cylinder, this phase, obviously they are supposed to be in liquid state, but because of the leakage, they will go in the gas phase, one phase to another phase. They are supposed to be in the liquid phase, but they are going in gas phase due to leakage. So the force by which they are going in the gas phase, they are leaving the system in which they are supposed to be. That is equivalent to this term, fugacity. So we use the term fugacity basically for the interphase mass transfer. Okay, whenever mass transfer is there between interphases, then we will use the term escaping tendency. But not always. Only in those conditions where the molecule was supposed to be in the state, but due to some unavoidable, some disturbance in condition, or due to some other parameters, or due to any reason, I don't know, it could be any reason, okay, means change, disturbance in the temperature, disturbance in the pressure, or the mechanical strength of the cylinder has got low, or anything. Okay, they are supposed to stay in one phase, but unfortunately they are leaving that phase, and some of the molecules are going in other phase, which was not supposed to be. In that case, the force by which they are traveling from one phase to another phase, that is called the escaping tendency. And that we measured with the help of this effective pressure, or we can say fugacity. So that is the meaning. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. This is one simple example. There are some other examples as well, but I hope this example is sufficient, okay, to make it clear. Anyways, now let's move to the other thing. What is fugacity? Fugacity is clear. Now how to calculate that? How to define that? So one thing should be clear to all of you. Let me remove this cylinder before it burns. So and remember this for ideal gas, or forget the ideal gas. For any pure gas. Okay, we know that dG is equal to VdP minus SdT, the molar Gibbs energy from the base equation. We can write like this because plus summation mu I dxi, that term will be 0. Xi will be 1 for pure component, so dxi will be 0. Okay, so this will remain. At constant temperature, if you say, so dG will become VdP. Okay, so now if I talk about the ideal gas, this is molar Gibbs energy, this will be the molar volume. So we know that for ideal gas, molar volume is RT upon P, and when you do all that stuff, you will get dG is equal to RT D ln P. This is for the ideal gas. Okay. Similarly, if I talk about the real gas, so in case of real gases, instead of pressure, we are talking about the fugacity. Okay, the pressure here, this pressure is not the system pressure which you are maintaining. This pressure is the pressure exerted by the gas. Okay, this pressure is the pressure exerted by the gas, not the pressure which you have maintained in the system. That is a different pressure. Okay, so real gas, this dG should be RTD ln effective pressure, that is fugacity. Okay. One more term is come here in the picture, that is the fugacity coefficient. Okay. Fugacity coefficient. What is fugacity coefficient? Fugacity coefficient is denoted by phi, is the ratio of fugacity of the gas to the pressure. Pressure means if the gas behave ideally, then what will be the pressure? F by P. At given conditions. Okay. Now, why I said that pressure exerted by the gas and the system pressure are different, which you have maintained. See, it's very simple to understand. There is some pressure which you are exerting on the system. So if this is a closed system, obviously you will maintain some pressure in that system. Okay, let's say that is P dash, which you have maintained. If this gas is ideal gas, you can consider the example of cylinder and piston assembly as well. Okay, I think that would be more easy to understand. So obviously if this is a closed system, you are maintaining a pressure P dash. If this is an ideal gas, it will exert a pressure P, and in that case P will be equal to P dash. P will be equal to P dash. Okay, because that is the ideal gas. But if that is a real gas, then okay, there will be F. Then this P will not be there. Obviously, gas cannot exert this much pressure. Gas will exert the effective pressure, that is fugacity. Okay, and obviously that F will be less than P, not P dash. This F will be less than P, pressure exerted by the gas. So that is F. Okay, or you can simply say F is less than P dash, the system pressure. Okay, the best example you can understand, which you may find in the literature as well, like if the total pressure is 100 atm, and if I take nitrogen in any closed cylinder, and if I maintain the total pressure at 100 atm. Okay. fugacity of the nitrogen will be about 97.3 atm. Okay, means if there is a leakage, then nitrogen gas will escape the system at by this force, by this pressure. Okay, that is the meaning. Okay, so for ideal gases, the pressure exerted by the gas and the system pressure will be same always. But when we talk about the real gases, it will be less than that. Okay. So fugacity coefficient is the ratio of F by P. So here you can see that if intermolecular attraction forces are there, then F is less than P. That means phi will be less than 1. If repulsion forces are there, phi will be greater than 1, and for ideal gas, phi will be 1. That is the fugacity coefficient. And what is fugacity coefficient? What is the significance? So you can understand easily. For ideal gas, it is 1. For non-ideal gas, it is either less than 1 or equal to 1. Oh, sorry, greater than, less than 1 or greater than 1, depending on the nature of the molecules, the intermolecular forces. Okay. Yes, all these things are for closed systems. In your syllabus, only closed system is there. So what is the fugacity coefficient? So fugacity coefficient signifies the deviation from ideality. The deviation from the ideality. If the system is ideal, so fugacity coefficient will be 1. If it is non-ideal, it will be less than 1 or greater than 1, based on the intermolecular attractive forces. If they are normal, it will be less than 1 because all the gases have intermolecular attraction forces in normal conditions. But if you go beyond the critical point in supercritical state, supercritical fluid state, then it is repulsion forces dominates, and in that case it will be greater than 1. Okay, anyways, this is the fugacity. So now let's move to the next part. How can we calculate the fugacity and what is the effect of temperature and pressure on the fugacity? See, we are talking about the pure gases right now, okay, for gases. So for gases, the effect of temperature on fugacity, effect of temperature on the fugacity will be H0 minus H over T square, and effect of pressure on the fugacity will be V minus V0 over T. Or otherwise you can write V by T. सर आर टी स्क्वायर नहीं होगा डिनोमिनेटर में, आई डोंट नो, चेक कर लेना क्या होता है, मैं भूल गया, मुझे याद आएगा तो मैं बता दूंगा। मैं इसी का वेट कर रहा था, कोई रिप्लाई करता है क्या। आई थिंक इट देयर विल बी आर टी, दिस विल बी द करेक्ट इक्वेशन। हो जाता है कभी कभी ब्रेन फेड। Anyways, so this is the effect of temperature and pressure on the viscosity, which we check. Okay, in the denominator we will have R or not, I don't know, maybe R will be there. Okay, anyways, let's talk about the calculation of viscosity. So calculation of viscosity you can calculate using residual volume. By this equation, ln f over p integration of alpha over rt dp from 0 to p, where alpha is the residual volume, okay, which is basically the molar residual volume. Molar residual volume, that is the difference of molar volume of real gas minus molar volume of ideal gas. Ideal gas means RT by P. I hope you know that. Okay. Next is using compressibility factor. All these are for gases, okay, pure gases. That will be ln f by P is equal to integration from 0 to P of z minus 1 over P dP. And last is using entropy and enthalpy data. So here you can write ln f by f naught is equal to, where f is the viscosity at given state, f naught is the viscosity at standard state. What is the standard state? That we will discuss. H minus h naught minus t times of s minus s naught over RT. Yeah, that's correct. R will be there in the denominator. Okay. So by using these equations, you can calculate the viscosity easily. Okay. Now, what is the standard state here? So that you should know, standard state means, standard state is the state, standard state will be the state at which system behaves ideally. Okay. So if system behaves ideally at a standard state, that means F will be equal to P. Okay. And what is P there? So at a standard state, pressure is equal to P naught. So F will be equal to F naught, we can say. The viscosity at a standard state. We represent the standard state by the notation 0 in the power. Okay. Or you can say naught. So the viscosity coefficient at a standard state will be the ratio of viscosity at a standard state to the pressure at a standard state, and since they are same, because at a standard state system behaves ideally, so it has to be 1. So by using these equations, you can calculate the viscosity. You should just know these equations. So, till now they haven't asked any questions in GATE exam where you have to calculate the fugacity, but they may ask, okay, since it is in your syllabus, so you should know the equations at least. Okay, and what is the residual property? I hope all of you know that residual properties are the difference between the actual property of the gas minus ideal property of the gas at given temperature and pressure. So residual volume means molar volume of real gas minus molar volume of ideal gas. So this will give us the molar residual volume. Okay, so this is something about the fugacity of gases. Now let's talk about the fugacity of liquid. So one thing should be clear in your mind whenever we talk about the fugacity of liquid and fugacity of solids. So we can talk about the fugacity of liquids and solids only and only when those liquids are in equilibrium with their vapors, those solids are in equilibrium with their vapors. That's it. Okay, so let's talk about the liquid. For solids it is same. We will talk about the liquid only. So for liquid, they should be in equilibrium with their vapors. Okay, like this is the liquid, this is the vapor. And we have seen that since these liquid and vapor are in equilibrium, obviously, so the Gibbs energy, basically the chemical potential, I should say, chemical potential of the component in liquid phase and chemical potential of the component in vapor phase has to be same, since all these are pure liquids. Okay, so chemical potential is what? Nothing but just the partial molar Gibbs energy, and since it is a pure component, so obviously the partial molar Gibbs energy will be same as the molar Gibbs energy. अभी इस पे बहुत प्रैक्टिस करनी है मुझे. ओके, धीरे धीरे करते हैं ना. Okay, GIL will be equal to GIV. Gibbs energy of component in liquid phase and Gibbs energy of component in vapor phase has to be same. That is the meaning at equilibrium. Okay, and what is the? We have already discussed that from the basic equation or for the gases, like for the real gases, dg is equal to RTD ln F. Similarly, if I talk about for the liquid, pure liquids, all these are pure gas and pure liquids. Okay, so dg can be written as RT d ln F. In case of gas, like in case of vapors, it will be Gibbs energy of vapor, Gibbs energy of fugacity of vapor. In case of liquid, it will be the Gibbs energy of liquid, it will be the fugacity of liquid. Okay, basically the molar Gibbs energy. Okay, so when you integrate them from a standard state to any given state, so here you can write it as Gibbs energy of vapor at given state minus Gibbs energy of vapor at standard state is equal to RT ln fugacity of vapor at given state to the fugacity of vapor at standard state. Similarly, for liquid, you can write it as GL minus G naught is equal to RT ln FL over. Okay, and when you equate them, when you put these values here, you will see the fugacity of liquid will be coming to fugacity of liquid will be equal to the fugacity of vapors at vapor liquid equilibrium. So that one thing should also be clear to you, that at equilibrium not only the chemical potential but the Gibbs energy as well as fugacity of the component will be same for pure components, for pure liquids. Okay, at VLE. Similarly for solids, at solid vapor equilibrium, Gibbs energy of solid and Gibbs energy of vapor will be same, and thus the fugacity of solids and fugacity of vapor will also be same. Okay, so now here what is the fugacity of vapor? That you can calculate as the methods which we have discussed in just 2 minutes before. Okay, here one thing should be clear to you when we talk about the vapors. There are two types of vapors. First, in which or two types of liquids are there, in volatile and non-volatile. Okay, so if I talk about the volatile and non-volatile liquid and Uh, case 1 and case 2. Case 2 is, suppose vapor pressure is low. For low vapor pressure means non-volatile liquid. Okay, non-volatile liquid. Do you ever heard that any gas behaves ideally at low pressure and high temperature? Okay, so similarly here, if vapor pressure is low, just try to understand. If vapor pressure is low, it means I can keep the system pressure to be low as well. Okay, if the vapor pressure is low, I can keep the system pressure low as well. Suppose for any system or any liquid, vapor pressure is 0.01 atm. Okay, so if system pressure is 1 atm, that will be liquid. If system pressure is 0.2 atm, still that will be liquid. If system pressure is 0.02 atm, still that will be liquid, because we know that when system pressure is greater than the vapor pressure, it will be the liquid state. Okay, so if vapor pressure is low, then system pressure can also be low. Okay, so in that case, we know that vapors will behave ideally. Vapors will act ideally. And since vapors are behaving ideally, so fugacity of vapors will be same as their vapor pressure. And if the fugacity of vapors is same as their vapor pressure, so obviously the fugacity of liquid will also be equal to their vapor pressure. Since vapor liquid equilibria is there, FL is equal to FP. Case 1 for high vapor pressure. Since vapor pressure is high, so obviously the system pressure has to be high as well. I can't keep low system pressure. Okay, and if system pressure is high, then vapors will be non-ideal. And if vapors are non-ideal, then obviously the vapor pressure, the fugacity of vapor will not be same as their vapor pressure. Fugacity of vapors will not be same as their vapor pressure. So in that case, I have to calculate. So how can I calculate? I can directly calculate by using this equation. Ln F over F naught is equal to V over RT P minus P naught. I am not doing the derivation, I am just writing the equation. Where this V is the molar volume of liquid. Molar volume of liquid. And for liquids, you have to understand, you have to remember, for liquids and solids, the standard state, this is fugacity at a standard state, pressure is at a standard state. The standard state is same as their saturation state. Saturation state means the state at which the temperature pressure at which they have started to vaporize. Okay, for solids as well, in which they are directly going into the vapor phase. Means the sublimation state basically. Okay, this is the scenario. And on this, there was a question in GATE exam. There are 2-3 questions on this GATE exam, but let's discuss only one of them, and that was question number 15, I guess, or 16. Yes, the question 16 in GATE previous year papers. That was a simple question, guys. You just need to read the data, put the data in the correct equation, and you will get your answer. Okay. Like here, if you see in this question number 16, the question was for a water at 300 degrees Celsius, it has a vapor pressure of 8592.7 kilopascal and fugacity of 6738.9 kilopascal. Okay. Obviously, in case of gases, the difference between fugacity and pressure will be something, but in case of liquids, that difference will be more, because intermolecular attraction forces will be more in liquid as compared to gases. The molar volume of liquid and vapors are given, but we don't care about the vapors, we will care about only liquid. That is 25.28 cubic centimeter by mole. You have to calculate the fugacity of the water at 9000 kilopascal. Okay, so here if you see vapor pressure 8592.7, such a big vapor pressure. Okay. Normal atmospheric pressure is 100 kilopascal, about 100 kilopascal, but vapor pressure is 8592, such a huge value. So it's obvious that is a non-ideal vapor. Okay, so we have to use this equation, ln F over F naught, and we know that F naught will be equal to F set is equal to V L over RT P minus P naught, or you can say P set. Okay, so here when you put the values, F set, what is the saturation fugacity? We don't know. They haven't mentioned the saturation condition, but one thing is clear. System temperature is this and system pressure is this. Okay, temperature is fixed 300 degrees Celsius. So in this case, since temperature is fixed, so we know that for liquids the temperature at which vapor pressure and system pressure are same, that is called the saturation state. Okay, so vapor pressure is this. So for this temperature, saturation state will be this only. Okay, so we can say F set on this, that is already given 6738.9 kilopascal. VL is given 25.28 cubic centimeter per mole. P minus P set, P is 9000 kilopascal, P set is 8592.7 kilopascal. So value of R, we know that value of R in terms of kilopascal meter cube is 8.314 kilopascal meter cube per kilomole Kelvin. And if you change that, okay, kilomole means 1000 mole, meter cube means 10 to the power 6 centimeter cube. So you can write it as 8314 kilopascal cubic centimeter per mole per Kelvin. I am writing directly because I know, if you know directly you can use, otherwise you can use the unit conversion method. Okay, so it will be 8314 kilopascal cubic centimeter per mole per Kelvin into temperature, that is 573 Kelvin. So when you solve this, you will get your answer. Okay, that has to be option B. Simple. So this is all about the fugacity of liquid, guys. Okay, so I think that is more than sufficient for today. This is all about the solution thermodynamics class 1 part 1. Okay, so we are stopping the class here, and next week revision class of solution thermo, we will discuss the fugacity for non-ideal solutions, fugacity for ideal solutions, chemical reaction equilibria, and some other properties. Okay, and believe me, whatever we have discussed today, it has some weightage in exam, but what we are going to discuss in next class, that has the more weightage, and so it is also simple. because we just need to use the equation, read the data from the question, put and do some calculation. This is solution thermodynamics. Very simple scoring. You can easily secure 5 to 6 marks in solution thermodynamics. Okay, if you know the meaning of each and every term, if you know the notation, each and every notation here, what is the meaning of that notation and the equations. That's it. Nothing else. Simple. Notation means the variable, which variable we are using to define that. The meaning of each and every term and the equation. Okay, you can easily secure all marks in solution. That's why it is one of the scoring. Okay. So see you guys in the next class. Till then, I hope you will do all those previous year questions and see you in the next class. Ta-da. Take care.